intrigued to see how this first point defensive hold is going to be on the initial inception, because you can make a lot of time up here.
Yep. Perhaps they were watching the Rogue games because Tvik actually chose Junkrat. After getting rolled over by Envious, they switched to Junkrat. Next time they were on defense, and they did so much better. They were able to stop the relentless onslaught. Speaking of onslaught, let's get this game going, D-Man.
Here we go. We're going to see Vods on the Roadhog once again on attack. It worked out well for him here in the playoffs in the group stage decider. Of course. Oh, the hook instantly lands! Vods managed to get cruised out. Kip goes straight in there. Takes down Stoop. That's the tank for tank. Picked off there. So support's not going to work out too well. Vods going to creep around the side, and immediately you see REUNITED separating, scattering, realizing, holy hell, there's hooks from Vods.
Yeah, setting the tone very early though. The REUNITED squad has been able to strike back with a number of kills in a row, so Fnatic with the initial pick, but now they are down and out and have to try once more.
The biggest problem, of course, is the long run back, the fact that he caught down the tank early on. Winghaven back in there, and you can see Unfixed trying to stand himself up a couple of traps. The cheeky setup there, get the right click down, try and blow somebody away early on. The spam comes in, the walls of the shield getting helped out, and then Unfixed again. Vods getting the hook, this time doesn't get the kill.
Vods, though, hitting a really good hook accuracy so far. There's a flanking Reaper coming up from above, and that's a really interesting position there by Kib. And let's see if we can have anything happen here with the ultimate. Here comes the Junkrat ult. It will be taken out, though. Cool Matt and his team moving straight forward.
Spotted around the side. Valataja holding a very different angle here, expecting the side. Are they going to be looking to see where that Deadeye is going to come from? Cool Matt trying to get the beam down there. You can see the jump from Winghaven, trying to disrupt them, trying to get in there, maybe separate that shield. Not going to pull the trigger just yet. Vods with the whole hog ready and waiting to go.
Yeah, Vods could jump in at any second, and Fnatic is just biding their time, waiting. Here comes a Reaper, though. Reaper versus Roadhog, not a fight you want to have too often as the Roadhog. So now Fnatic is down one in this engagement. REUNITED has been struck back, though. It is a 5v5 on the point, and we could see a huge Death Blossom coming out of Kib. He's on the point.
Very separated fight at the moment. You can see the splits across. Vods obviously being picked up at the side there. Still not really getting too much. They managed to get themselves the first marker on point. Stoop getting those left click headshots. Valataja, Deadeye almost ready and waiting to go, but he's just going to run straight in, and Stoop just catches him straight out with a fire strike. That should be the first point capped out by Fnatic.
Well, Valataja was left alone there, but I do wish he kind of stayed a little further back. He could have dealt a little bit more damage, perhaps, and saved that for his team, but nonetheless, Fnatic will move on, and that's an okay time. It's not a great time, D-Man, but with 3 minutes off the clock, they've got to be feeling okay moving on to the next point, considering that they also have a couple ultimates to their name.
Left side push coming through. It looks like with that pick on Kib, they might just go straight forward. Graviton Surge ready to be available. Cook now puts it down, but the shield is going to hold. There goes the whole hog trying to push them down. Unfixed just gets one. That's all it's going to be. Vods gets himself another pick on ult, but it's not enough at the moment. You can see they're going to come in. It's a scattered spawn, so they're not going to get the quick switch on the point, which is what they want for that big time bank score.
Does look like Unfixed is actually sticking with Junkrat as we move on to this next point. Tvik did that earlier today as well, and he's able to get a couple of kills and open that up for his team. And now as they set up on defense here, interestingly enough, they're only running with one tank here on the final point of Anubis. Kind of interesting. I mean, you could like to see a Zarya in the point like this, but nonetheless, only one tank.
Yeah, no big shields. It's the big difference, but Mort's been getting that damage down. We'll see how it works out. You can see they're going to try the left flank position. Stoop comes around. He's got his Earth Shatter ready and waiting to go. So left side it is. You can see Kib in position. He's got his Death Blossom ready and waiting to go. Doesn't really catch a great deal with him. Manages to pop around the side. Vods gets him down in the end, though. Valataja strikes back. Now Stoop going down. No shield to defend them. Fnatic have to use the walls to try and block out the side there. A quick kill. Ulti comes in from Winghaven. Tries to catch around there, but Valataja chimes in, and they hold strong. 5 minutes and counting. All that's left on the board for Fnatic. And this is the real problem for this map. You either flip it very fast, or suddenly they get set up and start stacking their ultis, and it becomes a real tough ask. Look at this switch off. Vods changing over to Widowmaker.
Yeah, switching off to Widowmaker, and you got to imagine they're going to be looking for an early pick here to just be the cue for them to push on in. However, they already have done that. They have done that with Roadhog, and they have done that with Zarya. They've had that early pick. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Let's see if Vods will go for the trick shot. He is indeed, as the team moves forward, and he's holding a little bit further behind, but here comes the Junkrat tower. Will it be able to get any value? No, it's actually, you don't see that very often. it, D-Man. Sucked on into the Graviton Surge.
His shield had just run out, so he realized that was about to take him down, but the Graviton Surge used to keep it out. It does mean, of course, he didn't have a great deal available. Using the Graviton Surge to save yourself, I'm not so sure on that. There's the quick right click to the face of Vods. And REUNITED hold. So now we're down to 4 minutes. Okay, this is already a very good time for REUNITED.
Yeah, they've held for long enough that they can feel pretty confident when they switch on to attack. And Vods, actually, it looks like he will be staying with Widowmaker. He's up to 50% of his ultimate, so he will very soon have the infra sight to see through everything, give his team ultimate vision. Coolmat, though, now switched on to Winston. I wonder what he's looking to do here. He will be engaging the team. Both teams will be clashing, D-Man.
Yeah, getting straight in there. You can see Coolmat trying to get the work down with the Tesla cannon. Cruz will, and Valotaja will pick up the kills. IDDQD just getting the one. Gets his counterpart, Valotaja, down, but that is going to be it. He's the last man standing for his team. He's going to get batted away. Kip comes in on the Genji now, working so well. 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and counting. Fnatic starting to run out of ideas how to take this, and REUNITED, they're stacking the ultis.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Fnatic has been able to... Oh, wow! Unfixed with the miracle shot right there, and that is putting Fnatic back another 30, 40 seconds because you cannot push in without Lucio in this kind of scenario.
Perfect. They deliberately delayed the kill on Vonathil there. Obviously, the shot caller. So they're not going to want to go anywhere. Bud's back on the hog. So really, they're trying things. They're switching. It's working. They're adapting. But it's just REUNITED holding solid as they try and push on the point.
All right. Looks like Fnatic making their way through the middle, but they're kind of disjointed at this point as the hog is moving around the side. Maybe he's going for a flank. We have seen this work in the past, but Valotaja might be able to get a kill. IDDQD will strike first, though. Winghaven will strike back.
Valotaja with the left clicking around the side there. He's going to get a Winston right in his face. They flashbang each other. They're caught out. Finally, Fnatic looks like they might have taken the point here. They got one man around the side there. You can see he's trying to track down Mort. Mort trying to keep it contested as long as he can. The first marker gets in. You can see IDDQD forced away. Cruz comes back out. And, well, REUNITED clear the site once more, just about. Fnatic very close to taking it there, but they've got themselves their first foot in the door.
Yeah, they have gotten one tick on the point. Not enough, though. They need to try again, and we haven't actually seen them get to a point where they have 3 or 4 or 5 ultimates at once. It seems like at most they're dropping 2 ultimates in each fight. Maybe we'd like to see them just wait and poke and look for that advantage in terms of ultimates. They do currently, they could put themselves in that situation as REUNITED's pretty low. Coolmat, though, just switching to Zarya, going to be looking for a huge Graviton Surge, and that's probably what they're going to base this play around. Bud's now on the Tracer, so Graviton Surge and Pulse Bomb, they're a great combo.
They're running out of time. They're down to inside the 2-minute marker, of course. We've already seen him on the Winston. That didn't work. Winghaven manages to get taken down by IDDQD. How did that happen? The tank picked up around the side with a Deadeye. Should never happen. Manages to find Cruz as well with a quick fan and a hammer. And now he's going to get to work with the left click. Forces him down. Valotaja goes down. IDDQD finally going off for Fnatic, and that's exactly what they needed. Yes. It will be 2 minutes on the clock for Fnatic.
Yeah, but not much time left for them to try again when they switch on over to attack. It will be just 2 minutes. And REUNITED surely looking to set a quicker time, get through the map a little bit faster. Will we see any kind of shenanigans? Will it be standard play? Hard to call here on this map because we just haven't seen it very much in tournament setting, especially never on a stage like this, D-Man.
No, absolutely. So solid hold. Obviously, if you were to look back at the previous game, yeah, both teams, Envious and Rogue, managed to close it out in what, just outside of 4 minutes for Rogue, and Envious 7 minutes 20. They had plenty of time to spare, but they get held. So regardless of time, 2 minutes, you can actually still take both points in 2 minutes. It is totally possible. So now the pressure onto REUNITED. Can they get themselves a good time and give themselves a real foot and a chance to get themselves 1-0 up?
Absolutely, and we do have Kib switched over to his trademark character. This is the character that we know and love him for. He's now going to be playing Genji. And if you guys were watching yesterday, you did see that Kib would go off by himself at times and get 2 kills, you know, just solo. So will this Genji come into play? Absolutely. The sword will be huge on this point.
Yeah, I mean, he just ran it for, I think, about half the map in the defensive side. Worked out very well. Not really sure Fnatic have a great answer to him. Obviously, Buds can switch over to the Genji if he wants to, but it's more ideal being on the Reaper. Probably expecting, obviously, Winghaven coming in on the Winston. Expect that fast attack style, maybe even paired with Kib as they try and pile in there. Interesting to see how it's going to work out. Always interested to see where the defensive team's going to hold. Fnatic going to hold the bridge.
Yeah, it does seem like they're going to hold right on top of the bridge, and this has actually fallen out of favor a little bit. Almost every team used to hold right up on that bridge.
Then you have that left flank.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Largely because of the left flank. You can also take what's called the secret window if you've got a Genji or a Diva or something like that and completely bypass them, but here they are holding pretty far forward. Of course, they could fall back.
Okay, here we go. Kip's going to get a peek, going to see the big Reinhardt shield and give all the information that they need. Okay, defensive position spread out. Right, will they try and dart out to the right? There goes Winghaven leaping in on the Winston. Kip tries to go around the back there. Doesn't really catch a great deal. Cormac taken down pretty low at the moment, but no picks going either side. Custer's going to get himself the first one on Winghaven. Unfixed replies with Vods going down, so that's the Reaper. No more damage coming out from Fnatic. They only have IDDQD trying to land those left clicks. Well, Valentaja comes in from Rage. He tries to get himself some chip down, but they are just slowly working it away. They're picked around the side. We saw exactly the same from Fnatic. Not piling in as one, just trying to pick their targets and surrounding them effectively. As you see, just on the top there, Mort laying down the damage from up on high.
Oh, wow. Look how spread apart REUNITED are right now. They need to get an early pick, and they do. Stoop is out of the action. That means no more Reinhardt shield, so that's going to trigger the Transcendence to keep the team alive a little bit longer, so Coolmat will respond. And pretty even at this point as Fnatic striking back. Vods still on the point in the middle of the fray, trying his best to do what he can, and he has done a lot.
Valentaja doing some brilliant work there. Cruz chiming in, picking up the kills more than anything. It's Valentaja that's been doing the work. Unfix comes charging through with the Xayah. So first point going to get capped out here. Fnatic are not even going to try and contest this one, and that puts them a real big time as they move in. Now, of course, the question is, Fnatic had a similar position. They had a lot of time on the board. This final point, you either flip it very fast on the initial attack and look at the ultis. There is four
they're about to have
ultis.
6.
5, yeah, all 6 actually. Yeah, you can see Kip at 99. Valentaja, they're going to pile in.
And here comes REUNITED. They're going to drop all of their ultimates in this fight. Fnatic has none to their name. How can they fight against this IDDQD, though, against the first kill? So even though there's the ultimate advantage, Fnatic is holding very strong.
Transcendence doing a great job to keep them alive there. Valentaja there and Cruz picking up kill after kill. REUNITED all on the kill field. This is surely going to be a huge time bank. You can see it's already 655 plus. They're going to hit themselves the first mark. Vods gets taken down. Now it's going to start chucking in their favor. The spawns will come out. It's going to be periodic. You can see Cormac peeking around the side. He's going to try and get himself in there, but he's not a Tracer player. In goes Stoop. He's got Earth Shatter available, but the shield from Winghaven is going to stop that going down. Finally, the rest of the team going to spawn out, but it is all going the way of REUNITED as they try and push on through. IDDQD, he's looking for a target. He can't find anything. Vods comes in there, just trying to delay things, gets desuited, dropped down. It is all going REUNITED's way. IDDQD finally gets himself the kill in there on Winghaven. Volatile chimes in, and it looks like Fnatic have finally got a grip. But is that the second marker hit? I believe it is by REUNITED.
That is, but a real nice play there by Fnatic to be able to hold on it all. Of course, the spawn point for the defenders is so much closer to the action that they're able to get in there, but it looked like they were just trying to delay. They weren't even looking for kills. They were somehow able to get it off the back of IDDQD getting an initial pick. But Fnatic got to be breathing a sigh of relief because they did not want them to set a time that quick.
And REUNITED actually held on to quite a lot of ultis there. They were just like, okay, we're probably going to lose it. Kip didn't use his Dragon Blade. Unfix now sitting on that Graviton Surge. It is still all set up for REUNITED to post themselves a big time. Here you go, Winghaven charging down the middle. Unfix looking for his moment, looking for that Graviton Surge, pops it into the doorway, catches them down. The shield's going to get burnt out. The self-destruct comes through. Cormac gets a pulse bomb down there. Unfix catching out, but Kip's going up with the Dragon Blade. Gets around the side, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 as he piles on through. Now chases on down. The poor old Tracer. Cormac trying to get away, but the Shurikens, you can't outrun them when they're coming for your face, and REUNITED will clear off this point. It's going to be a 5-minute time in the time back unless Stoop can do anything about it.
Well, the spawns are actually now favoring Fnatic as they're able to get in on the action. They have ultimates as well, so Coolmat's Pulse Bomb actually saved them right there. If it was not for that Pulse Bomb, this game would be over, and excuse me, not the game, but the time would have been set.
But REUNITED wisely just backed away from that one, so they didn't even sit around on the point. They're like, okay, they're going to get all the respawns, let's get away from this one. You can see Vods finally getting himself some kills in there on the Diva. It's working out well for him. Unfix going to get away. The Xayah shield will keep him alive, and Fnatic hold. And more importantly, it stays on that second marker. Obviously, detracts all the way back down. And that's what REUNITED have got to do. They've got to get that clean sweep ace to try and get that final point. And look at the time. It's starting to drop. We're at 4 minutes 20.
They had so much momentum. They had the wind behind their sails, yet Fnatic found a way to find some friction and scrappily come back into this one. So Fnatic now looking to try and hold this for just a little bit longer. If they can hold it for 2 more minutes, they're gonna be on even footing. Of course, if they can hold it for 4 more minutes, they're gonna be good.
A lot of ultis available for Fnatic in this fight as they try and push on through. Winghaven trying to delay his Earth Shatter as long as he can. But you can see the self-destruct for Vods. May even just launch that on them as soon as they try and push on the point. He's got to be careful he doesn't get desuited in the first place. And that is what's happened. So he didn't even get a chance. Self-destruct goes off.
Oh,
and
no.
he gets himself a triple.
Oh no, Volitaja one blink too many.
Yeah.
He was behind cover and he ended up killing himself. Unfortunate for him, but fortunate for Fnatic and Fnatic fans in the audience. It's great to hear everybody excited as we are in the semifinals of the $100,000 tournament.
Coolmat finally clearing them out there. Cruz and Mort the last two. So the supports actually delayed being killed there. So Reunited gonna have to wait for them to spawn, and it keeps working the clock down. Remember, if they go below 2 minutes, it puts them back on that 2-minute marker unless you're in overtime and you get a big fat 0. The question is, can they even close it out with 3 minutes to go? They've got decent ultis coming in, but Fnatic are still in a very good position here.
Yeah, man, it's starting to feel like the defending team just has such a big advantage on this point, and Vods has actually switched on over to Junkrat. We have not seen him play Junkrat, but we have seen him play about 7 other characters so far, so no big surprise there.
Switching around the side, Kib also onto the Tracer as well, the Reaper, sorry, was playing the Genji early on, so he's going to get around the side, needs to get himself the heal up. Here comes the Riptire. Is he going to catch him or in round? It doesn't look like he's going to find them. There's going to be Unfixed pulled in. Graviton Surge works in his favor, keeps him defensive, keeps him happy. Coolmat back on the Diva, do what he can. Gets desuited. Looks like Reunited may well have just done it. He gets taken down, and the final marker comes in. Bonnefield does what he can. Buds joins back on the point. Custer back around the side, but they all get picked off. And finally, Reunited do it. It's not a great time. It's 2:29. Not a great deal better than Fnatic did.
That's a 30-second advantage, D-Man, so really not much going for Reunited. It's basically back to square one. It's as if we're playing on Anubis with only 2 minutes.
So, can they even take that first point? That's the question. We've seen some solid holds. It both took them, not the initial attack. They were very interesting first attacks. It wasn't a case of piling in 6-man onto the point and force them to fight you on the point, which we do see quite often. Actually, teams quite often let the first marker go on the first point before they even get react, because they're trying to, we're just going to hold it. We're going to hold defensive. Wait, we need to fight them down. Both teams actually just separated, almost surrounded their opponent and tried to get the picks. So we'll see where they switch it up here.
And it looks like pretty standard stuff as well. We could potentially see something like an Ana, an Ana boosted Genji can usually take this first point. I would actually love to see more teams trying Ana out, especially on these assault maps. But both teams going with pretty much what we saw last time. And once again, if you take a look at the Reunited squad on defense, they're not even playing with the Reinhardt. They're going to be playing with only one tank, and that's going to be a solo Winston. So again, it sort of feels like this is a little bit along the lines of what Envious played on defense here. They're going to try and collapse on the enemies as they come in instead of hold them out of the gates.
Here we go, Buds on the Genji once again. Let's see if he can get something working. IDDQD also switching over, and he gets instantly popped by Unfixed. That's going to slow the attack down, and that buys him some vital time. When you only got 2 minutes on the clock, the last thing you need is Tracer to get popped off by a Junkrat the very second he spawns.
And this is just really interesting positioning. It's clear that Reunited have practiced this. They've talked about this because their team is spread across the defensive part. But here comes Fnatic. They're engaging onto the point. It's going to be up to Reunited to collapse on them.
Buzz gets picked off. Winghaven manages to leap back in there. They're all caught in the bridge there. They're going to get around the side. Winghaven just jumps around. The second he notices he's targeted, they get themselves in the room. But Kib with the Reaper up close and personal gets himself a little sniff on IDDQD there as he tries to get around the side. He's going to teleport back up around them. So you can see Fnatic, they're going to try and take the little room, the little ledge on the top right. But Reunited, they know exactly where they are, and they're closing the net.
And the first ultimates are starting to be charged up here. It looks like only 1 minute left, so the first time you're going to have 1 or 2 or 3 ultimates, you're going to have to push right in.
Oh, Riptire straight to the face of Bonnefield and Coolmat from Unfixed. That is going to buy them all the time in the world they need. Mort chimes in with a double as well. Stoop goes down. That is a clean sweep there. Fnatic, 40 seconds left on the clock. It is do or die time for them to try and take this first point. They have 1 attack left.
And this is not looking good because Coolmat, of course, his Graviton Surge needs to be big. IDDQD does have the Pulse Bomb, but Coolmat is still 40% away from getting this. Volitaja will probably be able to zone folks out with the Deadeye. Here comes the defensive ultimate to keep everyone alive, and Bonnefield does get a kill, though, somehow within that.
IDDQD chimes in, he gets himself more down there on the point. They're starting to take it in here. Kib gets himself back around. Vonethil gets taken down. IDDKD doing some work. They may actually cap the first point out. It's going to go into overtime. They've done it. They've cleared REUNITED off. Valentine was picked up earlier, and they are going to get the first point. That is all they needed. That is all they needed. They're going to have no more time left to keep on pushing through, but that lays down the marker for REUNITED. They have to cap point A.
How many times have we seen overtime be the decider here this weekend? It's just been absolutely wild to watch, but Fnatic only gets 1 point. Still a chance for REUNITED to try and get both. They're gonna have to have a perfect push though. It's probably gonna have to happen in the first or second or third push at very latest if they want a chance to get both the first and second point here. Still possible though for REUNITED. Otherwise, we're gonna be headed to a tiebreaker on, I believe it's Nepal actually.
Yes, yes.
Best of 3 on Nepal.
Which I'm excited for, and the more the maps, the merrier, Ben. I think we're quite happy to see this. Bud's looking like he might be starting out on the Roadhog once again. Of course, this time around, it would be the defense, so no, chooses to go with the Genji. And of course, REUNITED, what are they gonna do? Their turn to attack, will they change anything up? It was less than a stellar performance, their initial attack. Of course, we're not seeing a Junkrat coming out from Fnatic, so Coolmap preferring to stick to the Zarya. So very much tried and tested from both teams this time around.
Yeah, neither team was actually able to capture the first point in less than 2.5 minutes. So REUNITED and Fnatic put in a pretty tough situation, but REUNITED now, who knows? Fnatic might be able to put up the stalwart defense that stops them from even getting this first point. That said, in general, if we look at maps played throughout tournaments in general, that first point should be captured here.
Well, Coolmap by far the man of the series in the decider match this morning for me. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Let's see if his shielding can work out, of course. It's Valetaja that goes looking. Who's going to be the first blood? Who's going to be the first man to be picked off? Nobody wants to be that man. They're going to be charging around. They've actually managed to get a good chunk on Buds there. Took him down below half health, gets himself around. You can see Valetaja trying to find his target, trying to land those headshots, flicking back around, looking towards where Bud's positioning is going to be as well. Kib's going to try and get around the side. They're pushing in. They're going to get around the side. Kib's getting free damage at the moment from the back. You can't ignore those shurikens. Valetaja's going to find Custer. He goes a little too deep there. The Reaper has to back away. Stoop gets picked up. This is all going in REUNITED's favor. It looks like it's going to be a clean sweep.
Uh-oh, this is looking bad though for Fnatic because Kib has gotten kill after kill after kill, and he will have the Dragon Blade to go on to this next point. In fact, he's moving all the way ahead of his team, trying to see if he can do any little tickle damage, see if he can just build up the ultimate that he needs. Only 1 minute and 30 on the clock left, but that's plenty of time to make this happen. Actually, we're going to have a switch up, so Winghaven actually going to be going on over to Reinhardt here, but here is Kib with the Dragon Blade at bay.
Pulse Bomb, Dragon Blade, everything they really need here. You can see Transcendence coming in. This is very much in favor of REUNITED as they stack in there. Here comes the quick walk. Winghaven comes around, starts to start batting away, looks for Custer, tries to get the damage down on him. Buzz gets himself the kill on Cruz, but Winghaven and Kib chime in. There's a fix, there's good Kib, and they are just suddenly clearing the point. It's going to take them a lot more than that. They're going to get themselves a respawn because it was a quick, slow dribble, and there's going to be Coolmap. Coolmap switching over to the Diva. He's going to be getting back onto the point. They've got to hold this for 50 seconds. It's going to be a lot of work for Fnatic.
They need a miracle, but they had one before. Kib is going to be able to slide into this. Easy peasy, getting kill after kill. Every kill resets his dash. He's going to keep it going, and Kib alone has done this for his team, I believe.
Fantastic stuff. That's the Graviton Surge from Unfix that worked it. It is going to be REUNITED that take map #1 over Fnatic on the Temple of Anubis.
Yes, brilliant stuff.
Well, I mean, they did it in what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes straight. We talked about that extra 20 seconds. They didn't even need it.
You know, the first time it took them 6.5 minutes. The second time, 2.5, no problem whatsoever. And very much on the back of Kib. And if you did look at that team composition for REUNITED, it was very much double flanker. So you had a Tracer and a Genji, very much dependent on working with the Winston, jumping in, working with the Zarya in tandem to get those quick kills. And that worked out quite well for Kib, who got the Dragon Blade and finished it off with that Dragon Blade.
Fantastic stuff. Fnatic, they're going to have to sit down, talk. You can see them grouping up, get their discussions on. And while they talk about it, let's see what the analyst desk had to say about that game.
Yeah, guys, what are we having to say about that game? That was a really close one, and I very much hope that the series is just going to continue in this fashion.
That was really close all the way through, but I said it from the beginning, I was right. Huck always wants to say, I was right. REUNITED, able to pull it out at the end. And I think it was actually a little bit interesting that I think Fnatic, how well they pushed together and how well they grouped, was actually a disadvantage for them, because every time they pushed, it's easy for REUNITED to come back and defend it and say they're all coming from this cave again. and we can just step back and defend it.
The big question is, for me, is like that map was so unique. How are they going to play? Because we see, like, we keep seeing Junkrat on that map, right? And Junkrat's a super strong pick on that map, but we almost never see it in any other maps. And now we're actually going to go into Gibraltar, and that's of course Fnatic's pick. How do you feel about that, Mitch?
For Fnatic choosing Gibraltar, I don't necessarily think that's a good decision at all. I don't think that stymies REUNITED whatsoever. But I mean, back on the topic of this map as well, it's how much are we really going to glean from this map? As it's a very strange one. I like the way that REUNITED were able to fold away. We'd see Fnatic get one pick coming on the attack. REUNITED would all of a sudden disappear. Couldn't see the wood for the trees. They made themselves very scarce and made it so that Fnatic couldn't snowball one kill into another, because Vods came through with that Roadhog, getting all these hooks, and all of a sudden we saw a very good response here from REUNITED to make sure they took those defensive positions and then react accordingly.
Yeah, it looks like we're about to get into a replay here. We can see the great defense from REUNITED. They're just playing so close together. You can see their positioning, the Reinhardt doing such a great job, holding the rest of Fnatic back, doing a great job of zoning. It seems like they had just superb positioning.
Yeah, it was when Fnatic would all push in one big group. They knew exactly where they had to stand to counter it. They knew what they needed to do as soon as it came. There was never any real flankers coming in from Fnatic that would mix things up in the back. And you can see Zenyatta getting pushed out first and having to pop his ultimate. It's not even really defending anybody. It's just that he got forced first.
Yeah, and they constantly have the high ground as well. You can see that Fnatic have to keep jumping in. They got to battle up, and they're trading kills at this point. But look how clean they've fallen back. They pulled back into that corridor, and then even here at the end, the finishing push for them. I mean, it was so very, very close, but...
Yeah, Unfixed showing a lot of different character variety there too. He started off on Junkrat, goes on to Zarya, definitely flexing onto those different characters he needed. And we saw Kib here at the end go absolutely insane, get an incredible chain of kills. We had that bizarre Diva ult that people just walked into. It was in the middle of the point. How did people even get that?
Yeah, I mean, Vods initially switched to Diva because Fnatic thought they were straight into stall phase. And then once he actually moved up onto the point, he didn't actually have a chance to switch. So he kept playing on that Diva. And yeah, kind of random. You don't normally see a defensive Diva in that case. It was just incidental because Vods didn't have a chance to switch. But it was actually, it took them out of another stall phase. You could see there that Fnatic were at great risk of losing even there. So kind of fortuitous, but definitely I don't think it was planned from the start.
Now, it's actually not going to be Gibraltar as our next map. They agreed with you, Mitch.
Yeah,
so they were like, we go Dorado. Mitch said we should go Dorado. So Dorado is the next map we're going to see between those two teams. It is the semifinals, ladies and gentlemen. So we're heading straight into the second game.
Yes, so Dorado. The map, they came out on top against Misfits, full minute ahead. 4:41 was the time. It was actually a pretty good time. That was just this morning, of course. It was Stir and Hook that cast it. So I was thinking, you cast that. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, it was Stir and Hook. You were on the desk with me, actually. Yes, we were. So what do we think, Dorado, then? Obviously, we were talking about Bud's hooks earlier on.
Yeah.
And actually, we heard the interview with him when he was discussing it with Rachel. And he's like, actually, I don't ordinarily play it. I was kind of forced to because... who was it? Somebody else was playing something else. I can't think of who it was.
Yeah,
but he was like, I was forced to play it.
It worked out,
it
though.
worked really well.
It totally worked, and not a ton of teams play with this triple tank. It's not completely unheard of by any stretch of the imagination, but triple tank worked so well for this team of Fnatic on attack, on Dorado, and we'll see if they try something like that again.
Yeah.
Of course, as we've mentioned before the series and throughout the series, these two teams have been scrimming nonstop, so we don't know what their personal record is. Of course, this is Fnatic's choice, though, so they probably have something up their sleeve.
Well, always going to have something up their sleeve. Of course, Dorado was won by REUNITED against Rogue in their winner bracket match as well. So both teams are accomplished on here. We'll see whether it works out for them as we get ready to go. It was, trying to think of my point, it was actually Cool Matt that had to play Zarya. So he was like, you know what? You're going to play Zarya. I'm going to have to play the Hog. But this time around, it looks like Bud's obviously on defense, is going to be sticking on that Reaper. We are going to see Cool Matt, though, on the Winston alongside Stoop on the Reinhardt. So double tank start for Fnatic using the Winston.
I'm very interested to see Winston on defense, especially on this point. You typically see Zarya because within that choke point, it's very easy to build up charge quite quickly. So, you know, Cool Matt really known as a Zarya player first. We'll see if he sticks with Winston. It does look like that is very much the case here on defense.
So here we go, 10 seconds to go. Fnatic REUNITED, best of 5 on Dorado. Anubis is out the way. REUNITED have that one in the books. Will we see this map go the distance, just like Envious and Rogue? We can only hope for such an exciting game. But here we go. It is going to be Kib on the Genji once again. We just saw him going off on Anubis. Valataja taking a massive hit there. I didn't see what hit him. Maybe it was a fire strike. I don't know. Either way, gets himself healed back up by Cruz.
And if you do take a look at the positioning here by Fnatic, they're very far back into the market, which we've seen teams favoring more and more and more as the tournaments and time have gone forward. And of course, that means that they're able to fall back behind the market. There's so much geometry that you can protect yourself with. I definitely like playing back here.
Yeah, just remember Fnatic's defense, though, the first time they played this against Misfits.
Back last time,
they were too far back, and then it was obviously the one man getting caught out that really was the difference. Valataja looking to get himself the rewind around the side there, trying to get himself some damage down on Buds. Gets a little chip, but not a great deal. You can see IDDQD sitting as deep as possible, trying to get those left clicks off. He is starting to land them. It was Winghaven, actually, that's getting chunked down there, below half health, and actually one more little headshot would have took him down, but Mort manages to heal him back up, and both these teams very tentative as they head towards the fountain.
Yeah, what a passive fight here. No, neither team has really pushed in. Maybe they're looking for one ultimate. Who can get the first ultimate out? It's actually Valataja. Will he be able to get anything? Buds and IDDQD will stop this push in its tracks, though. Morte, though, as Zenyatta looking to stop this, but this will be a successful hold for the first push of REUNITED. But that was like a really, really long push. That was a 90-second push.
Yeah, and you can see how it nets Fnatic. Of course, they've got themselves 4 ultis. The 5th one about to tick in for Vonethil. So Fnatic going to be feeling pretty confident. 2 minutes almost on the clock. You can see it counting up in the middle of your screens. If you're ever unsure of how far you have to go to victory or what the actual victory goal is, just look towards the middle of the screen. It is all laid out for you. IDDQD not managed to land anything with the Deadeye there. You can see he's going to go right around side. The Fan the Hammer on the Primal Rage Monkey is not going to work out too much for him. The Pulse Bomb doesn't land either, but Buds chimes in. Kib goes down. That's a big part of REUNITED's attack here. We did mention the amount of ultis that were available for Fnatic, and it does look like it's going to work out in their favor once again as the Buds copter comes through.
Yeah, Buds, man, he has looked so strong this whole tournament, surprising a lot of us, I think, because this team, you look at the DPS players and you think IDDQD is the star, but Buds really taking the show and making it his.
1 minute 30 on the clock. REUNITED. Time to start wondering, do we make adjustments? Unfixed, he's got his Graviton Surge ready and waiting. They're going to look to maybe take the left flank, or they're going to go straight up the middle. The payload's in this awkward position where it doesn't lay any defensive value to you. It actually gives Fnatic a much bigger chance. Valataja getting himself a little glance around the side, tries to get a glimpse in there. You can see immediately the diving straight in there. Winghaven trying to disperse them. Graviton Surge goes down. Vonethil, Cormac caught in there. The Pulse Bomb will come through. Kib gets himself double kill in now as IDDQD and Cormac goes down. This has to now go the way of REUNITED.
Yes, the Graviton Surge was good. Kib was there in wait, and we'll be back onto the point. Stoop still fighting his heart out. Actually going to be able to get a kill on Morte. So this is actually not quite over yet, although it does look like REUNITED will edge out the win here. IDDQD, the last one on the point with Cool Matt. Last 2 people, and somehow they're surviving. What is going on here?
Yeah, they came back. They were obviously one of the first to be picked off, managed to get back there, the quickest, most maneuverable heroes in the game. But 3:30, that's a long old time to hold that front point.
This
Fnatic,
is
of course.
already okay, though, for Fnatic. They're going to be able to get the high ground.
Yeah, exactly. Fnatic, of course, going to be a little annoyed that they didn't hold it completely, but the fact is, they're going to get the high ground. They're going to get themselves a great position. The downside is they have 0 ults to jump on down. So if they're going to do it, it's going to be straight up brute force, whereas you can look at REUNITED, you can see Kib and Valataja ready waiting to go on the ledge there.
Look at this flank.
What is going on
flank
back
coming
there?
out from Fnatic. They're flanking the attacking team, which only happens with a very adept team. Fnatic, though, they know how to move together. Kib will draw first blood. Stoop was kind of by himself because the rest of his team is flanking, so they never actually executed.
That was a very strange defense. Now, we saw this before, Fnatic versus Misfits. Fnatic gave up the middle section here at the church instantly. However, in that game, Misfits were at the power station within 3 minutes. Fnatic then went on to hold for a large portion of time. So we know their final defense is good. Unfixed gets himself a big blaster Fan the Hammer to the face from IDDQD. Does manage to survive it, but you can see REUNITED pushing on through. Sound barrier goes down. Unfixed comes through, gets the beam working. Valataja and Kib get themselves on the score sheet with the kills, and this is all going the way of REUNITED. They're going to hit themselves that point. Custer is going to be the last man to be able to challenge, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep them off. And that will be the 3rd power station section we will move into. And you can see the time now. It's 4 minutes on the clock to close it out, but we're already at 5 minutes plus.
And we move on to the final S-curve, and again, throughout this tournament, we've seen a lot of teams getting stuck here. Time and time again, equally matched teams seem to be just getting stumped on attack. So we'll see, what can REUNITED pull together? They've had excellent team coordination, excellent ult coordination. Unfixed has really had Fnatic's number when it comes to that Graviton Surge, grabbing 2 or 3 with every single one of them.
Well, they've got the high ground, let's see. Bud's positioning, he's trying to stick behind the door well. It does look like REUNITED are going to go up the stairwell, so this is prime positioning for Fnatic to try and catch them out. Buds has repositioned though. He was tucked in the edge. We've seen so many times they've gone around the side, but they're going to try and charge out. They want to push them off the high ground, but they're going to get caught in there instead. They're going to try and charge out, but Valataja left without his tank, his easy target there. IDDQD is going to chip down Winghaven. Quick flashbang above and a right click to the face.
Yeah, Fnatic has struck back in a big way, and they're going to hold quite strong here. And indeed, we'll have a number of ultimates for this next fight. It looks like they'll have actually 5. IDDQD, the only player on Fnatic without an ultimate for the next battle. So REUNITED definitely going uphill for this one. We'll see though, can they get that initial pick to open this up for their team? So important that they do.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Kib make any changes. Obviously, you can see he's on the Reaper with the Death Blossom, but we know Genji can be quite crucial here. He can obviously get around the back, cause some damage. They are going to try and take the low ground. They're going to force Fnatic to come down, but Fnatic sitting on a plethora of ultis, ready and waiting to go. If they were to take this fight, it looks like it's going to go in their favor. Winghaven's going to try and block out the damage as the Graviton Surge comes in. That was going to be a Stoop trying to pick off the tank, but instead he got Valataja. Not the best of targets. He wanted Winghaven, but it's done the job. It forces him back.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to go the Fnatic's way once again, and they're able to hold on to several ultimates as well. So, still looking in a very nice position. That said, REUNITED will be stacked to the teeth next time they fight as well. So, it looks like we're headed for a big fight. This next one is going to be pretty hot.
2 minutes and counting. All is left on the clock. 7 minutes already gone for REUNITED. Already we're looking at a pretty long time. Of course, REUNITED's defensive turn will be coming up next. They are one map to the good. But IDDQD, if I could only say his name, all the letters in the alphabet required for that one. But he has his Deadeye available, and that's going to slow things down. With only 1:38 on the clock, they've got to get their attack going, because with that going, it's going to zone them out as long as he can. Stoops drop down off the bridge.
Yeah, they had the position on the bridge, but they will just completely abandon it right away. Valataja gets the first kill in this engagement, and this is boding very well for the REUNITED squad. They haven't even used their ultimates yet. They still have the Graviton Surge to their name. Unfixed gonna look for 2, and he does get 2. And that's not a ton, but it should be enough for them to continue forward, and REUNITED is gonna get very close to finishing this off here.
Buds comes through, the Death Blossom not working out for him. Obviously using just about every ulti they had in the book there, but Kib, you can see, still has his Death Blossom to go. Expect him to get up towards the spawn point once he gets back around here. You can see only 2 of them really pushing this payload very tentatively. They realize they can't finish the game just yet. Only 50 seconds on the clock. There's going to be one more attack possible for REUNITED before we start getting to this spawn chain of trying to get in there as much as possible. They have to get themselves a clear. Transcendency comes out already. You can see Custer trying to work that down. So Kib's just going to wait for this delay. They all get Graviton surging around the side. Look at Kib come around. Is he going to be able to get anything from this one? He's sitting, holding on to it. The Death Blossom does nothing, and Buds wipes him out. 29 seconds on the clock. I don't think they've got enough left.
That's a disaster for REUNITED because they wasted, actually he never even used the Death Blossom.
Yeah,
he's actually knocked out of it. Kib still holding onto it, and actually one last possible chance here. A couple ultimates to their name as well. No support ultimates though, so they're not going to be able to engage with impunity, but they will potentially have the opportunity to get in here.
IDDQD can just zone them out. There's only 6 seconds left. They have to just go like a bat out of hell to try and get in here. Just come around the side. Let's have a look at IDDQD. He's going to sit around the side. There's going to be the Deadeye. Doesn't get anything with it. They try and contest the point. They have to stick around it. All that overtime will just tick on down. You can see it's working out in their favor. Fnatic are going to make a hold here. They have a meter marker of 75.61. That's all they have as Unfit comes around the side. Winghaven jumps on up there, but he's getting nothing from this one. The Graviton Surge comes through, but there's no follow-up. You can see the flashbang. Fan the Hammer. He gets picked off. Unfix manages to get himself a kill. Have they got enough? The spawn chain is going to come in, and Stoops going to try and work them off the point.
It's still a 2v2 on the point, but everyone's streaming in through the spawn, so that Fnatic team is going to be able to push them off for the time being. That said, it's 3v3 now as REUNITED streaming in from their spawn, as overtime will be ticking down faster and faster and faster, and Vods stacked with his Death Blossom, Vanafil as well with Sound Barrier, so this should be a fight that goes the way of Fnatic.
Look how fast that overtime is. They have to get on it. They have to stand around it. IDDQD comes in. Vods comes through. That is going to be Fnatic wiping them off the point. Overtime will tick down. It will be a distance marker for REUNITED and Fnatic. You can tell that gives them a boost of confidence.
And like we said earlier, man, this last point on Dorado continues to be a pain for a lot of attacking teams.
Yeah.
The spawn point for defense is a little bit closer, especially the further and further that payload moves forward, the closer and closer it is to the defenders.
It's so hard if you just don't get the clean wipe of like 3 or 4 in one quick burst. It immediately gives a chain spawn that was just going to keep it contested. It's going to work out in their favor. So 3 minutes 30 it took them to take that first point. That was really a big portion of the time delay. REUNITED are not going to be too happy about that. We'll see how they handle it. They're going for a very similar team comp, so it's going to be pretty even between them. But at the moment, we are seeing Fnatic once again with Vods on the hog, and he worked out very well against Misfits.
And I absolutely like this pick because Vods, first of all, he's been hitting the hooks, but almost more importantly, if you're not able to hit the hooks, at least you're still going to be able to wear down the enemy's Reinhardt shield, and that's really one of the great things about Roadhog is just his ability to dole out pure damage against those Reinhardt shields.
Well, he's trolling us right now as he flicks on through. Switching between Junkrat, almost certainly not going to be playing that on attack. But what we might see is a little arrow to get a peek. We have seen Hanzo making an appearance throughout these finals as we work our way through. But REUNITED, I'm interested to see how defensive line they hold. Where they're going to sit back, they're going to be around the fountain. It looks like Winghaven wants to go fairly deep on this one. 20 seconds on the clock before they spawn, come out of that point. But look how aggressive REUNITED are looking at the moment. This is unusual. We saw Rogue doing this, I believe, earlier on today against Complexity.
Am I in a low 60s ranked game? What is this? Why are they so far forward on the roads? This is basically something you rarely see ever from the top teams.
Was it yesterday Rogue did this? No, it's REUNITED. The REUNITED versus Rogue. REUNITed did this versus Rogue, and it backfired horrifically, and it looks like it might well work again. Fnatic knew exactly what was going on. They went around the left side, and look at this. Like you say, awkward. REUNITED forced with their backs against the wall by the payload. This is so confusing.
I'm watching from above, and they've actually switched sides. The attacking teams are on defense.
And well, kills will be going Fnatic's way. I mean, I wouldn't have expected any different because, let's face it, they're coming straight out the spawn. They still haven't moved the payload, though, so the delay tactic has worked. You can see it's 30 seconds off the clock already, but now the question is, will REUNITED reposition, get themselves in and around the fountain quick enough before Fnatic get there? You can see the forward runners of Fnatic. You can see IDDQD wants to get a couple of left clicks. The second they come around the side there, even gets a long-range fan the hammer down to try and get Winghaven's shield, but they are going to get in position. Now, they got to make sure they don't get wiped out there. They bought themselves a minute on the clock before it even hits the payload. So technically, the tactic worked.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The only problem there was that there was a lot of spam coming in through the doors. It wasn't for sure if REUNITED could get positioning, but they have, and they are holding strong.
Stoops Earth Shadow misses there. That's not something I've been used to seeing, but Kim gets executed on top of the fountain by IDDQD there. The left click's working down as well. And of course, without that positioning, it's not going to work in their favor. IDDQD picked off by Mort, though. That's going to be a good job from the Zenyatta. Stoop goes charging in, pings Winghaven to the wall, but taken so low, but he doesn't get taken down. He was on 30 health. Finally goes down to Cruz the Lucio coming through. Valataja gets the Death Blossom off. He picks himself up a triple, and REUNITED will hold strong. 2 minutes and counting.
That was looking good for Fnatic for a split moment, but REUNITED with their team play to make it happen, to bring that back, bring the control of the payload back. And you're right, D-Man. I guess that they play that far forward because they know that they're still going to have time to get on into the markets phase. And I guess that strategy has worked out for them here. With only 2 minutes left on the clock, this is no longer a good time for the first point, and it's putting a lot of pressure now on Fnatic. That said, look at how many ultimates are up for both teams in this next engagement. is going to be wild.
They go through the building around the side there. That's going to work out in favor of Fnatic. You can see the Transcendence coming out. ID key from range. Doesn't get anything from the Deadeye. We can see the Transcendence just about keeping him out with the Fountain, blocking it off. Valataja chimes himself in with 1 kill on Custer. That's the supports going down as Stoop goes wild. Gets himself 1-2. ID key pushes on through. Coolmat working him down. They're going to clear out the payload. And that is going to be Fnatic pushing through in a very decent time on the first section. 2 minutes 30 is all it took. Much quicker than Reunited.
It's great to see that aggression come out of Reinhardt. You know, you don't see it from all the Reinhardts in the game, but Stoop saw the moment for himself and he swung for the rafters, able to deal out a whole bunch of damage, get the kills that his team needed. And but that said, for Reunited, they're going to have plenty of time to take the positioning that they want. Kib will be flanking here with Genji, taking his way. Actually, he'll be rejoining his team.
They're going to drop down early. Winghaven goes down, tries to force something out of Stoop there. Didn't actually throw anything down, trying to like fake out the fact that he had Earth Trap to try and draw some sort of transcendency out or a sound barrier. Nothing happened. Fnatic, they didn't have anything to do, so it was kind of like faking each other with nothing. It's an interesting card game going on. Kip goes diving in, gets himself the Dragon Blade, gets himself 1 down with Custer, blocks off the nice damage from Vods there, but he doesn't get a great deal else. And while that's all happening, you can see IDD, KD, and Stoop continue to wreck Reunited. So the payload is going to move unhindered around this church.
You know, we didn't actually get a chance to watch all of it on stream, but IDDQD has absolutely been doling out a crazy amount of damage here for his team on attack. Fnatic rolling forward much on the back of that as well as they do move on to this final area. Where will Reunited decide to set up on defense here? Will they try to take the high ground? It doesn't look like they have time, doesn't look like they have the opportunity. Unfixed actually very far away now with Zarya all the way off in the wings. Still enough time though, they will be clashing very soon.
We saw Coolmat pulling off a mega Zarya ulti on this exact point on the defense against Misfits. Let's see if Unfixed can do the same. He catches them, it's only Stoop that he catches out there. Less than ideal. You see Winghaven piling in, doesn't really get a great deal from it. IDD from range, he's being untouched. Nobody's even attempting to him. He's just left looking for freedom. This is just about your best bet as a McCree. Nobody even wants to go near you.
Yeah, Vods is up close and personal, will drop the ultimate, getting 2. Custa will get a 3rd. So now this is a big advantage for Fnatic as they push on forward to the next objective.
They're going to have themselves, what, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 20 seconds? Tell a lie, 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Oh, my math is terrible. How did I not plus that together? 2 plus 2. It's hard.
We're here now.
It's hard work. That's why you're here with me, Ben. That's why you're here with me. Just to help me through these senile moments that I tend to have.
Well, it's not a matter of minutes, it's actually a matter of meters.
Distance,
now the payload has to get all the way around the corner, and it will surely be able to make its way pretty close now as Reunited has to put up a strong defense, but of course, as we keep mentioning, this is a really hard point to push onto. But the positioning, look at this,
they're already there. And look around side. Vods is actually got himself tucked in the corner. Will go and just Wraith form away. Actually, this is backfired horribly. Valataja comes in, gets himself to fan the hammer down, and Stoop goes dropped off. But Cruz and Mort get picked off, so no support left for Reunited. Really strange positioning. They're going to drop like flies. Fnatic looking like they're going to take this map with ease at the moment. As you can see, Fnatic dropping left, right, and center, pushing on through. Reunited going to get cleared off. The big golden marker staring you in the face. They're going to get a couple of respawns, but it is going to be the support players, and they are going to struggle to stop this.
Just barely enough time to get there. Winghaven is going to be able to stop the payload in the last 11th hour, but he gets pushed off. He got booped off by Lucio. He got thrown off the point when it counted the most, and Fnatic will take map number 2.
Solid stuff from Fnatic. We're all square, 1 apiece. And honestly, it was their map choice. You would expect nothing less. Solid defensive hold for a very long period of time. 3 minutes 30 on the initial point. That was really the big difference for them. Fnatic proving they have it in them. Considering we saw very different defensive rounds when you think right back to their first game of the tournament against Misfits, it was incredibly fast. I think it was within 50 seconds they'd lost that initial point. So they've definitely adapted, overcome, and really strengthened themselves throughout this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Great play there by Fnatic. Got to take map number 2 and looking. And I guess it's going to be Reunited's pick now. I wonder what.
Yeah, Reunited's pick indeed. Let's see where they're going to go. Let's go over to the analyst desk to take us through Dorado.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, let's talk about the game we just saw. Fnatic took that map away from them. And let's actually talk about Fnatic's defending play. Right there, Mitchie had a lot to say about that.
Well, I found it quite notable as well. I was probably going to ask you for your thoughts on it here, because we saw Fnatic actually run, not with a Reinhardt or never Reinhardt, no Zarya, they had a Winston on defense instead, and they sat very far back in that courtyard.
They're holding Dorado first point, and they're standing way back behind the fountain, which actually can be pretty smart, because sometimes Overwatch ends up being this crazy, chaotic game, Lucio speed boost tracers going everywhere, and it's like they're playing for that. They don't want people to flank around them on the side of the stairs, and they have the Winston and also a highly mobile team so that they can react to this. So it's not typically what you see where Reinhardt holds a choke point. It's, we know you're going to get through it anyway. Let's just hold back a little bit.
We did see Fnatic do exactly the same thing yesterday. However, that didn't work out for them at all. And we actually did point it out as something a little wonky, a little odd, a little off, because that didn't seem to work.
Sometimes good strategies just don't work. I mean, Symmetra is good on Dorado when it works. And it's good to see that Fnatic prove that their strategy, they have a reason why they do it. And I think they held for like 3-4 minutes. There was really good, well done.
I want to say that they did a great job there, but then on the church phase, on the other hand, it seemed like they just blew right past them, and they took up a weird position as well. They gave up the high ground near the church, and they actually hold back on that side, and they collapsed down, but they got wiped once, and because they held so far back, they blitzed through, and they had a great hold at the end, though.
And I have a theory as to why we're seeing, I guess, a refinement of this Fnatic defending strategy over the last day or so. Because, like a week ago, back during the qualifiers, Fnatic's defensive hold on Dorado looked nothing like this whatsoever. The whole plan was actually to push out from the courtyard past the statue up to the right-hand side, or at least to try and just match up with the enemy team, the attacking team, and sort of meet them where they try to come through. That's a bit riskier, of course, because you're putting yourself in the face of the enemy team. But if you remember the spot, if teams attacking want to go up the left side, they're going to go up all the stairs and then set up. Fnatic used to catch a team while they were walking up the stairs, and their whole flank, the whole side of them was open. You couldn't even hide behind a Reinhardt shield. For some reason, they've decided to change that, and that's fine, because I like this. But yeah, that's maybe why it's taken them a while to get it all set up and ready to go.
Well, so Dorado was map we just saw. Now we're heading over to Ilios. So I would really very much like you guys to somehow lead us through this map. Tell us what we can expect from either of those teams here.
Well, I think we all knew that this was going to be the map they picked, especially Mitch, I think, called that out early. It just seems like they're a strong King of the Hill playing team. And then on the other hand, Fnatic are a bad King of the Hill team.
I would say not so great. Yeah, this is where Fnatic were actually in the... They actually managed to win this map against Cloud9, so I wouldn't be too harsh on them. It wasn't the best performance from them on this map. Generally, I think the Ruin phase was at average for Fnatic. But REUNITED picked this map up first. They said, they looked at a map pool where 60% of the maps weren't played at all, and they said, let's try something. Let's give ourselves an excuse to be one of the top teams. Let's catapult ourselves forward. They just started practicing Ilios first. I don't think they have any crazy strategy that blows minds, and I think Fnatic are one of the teams that will be more prepared to take them on this map, but it's always been REUNITED's safe haven. It's the only map they used to win against Envious, for example.
What do you guys think makes REUNITED strong on this map?
European?
Is it playing the Europeanness?
Just Europeans
Yeah,
are
it's
good
just
at
like
the
this
hill.
part of a skill. Like you have aim, you have positioning, and you have European.
Europeans.
Yes.
I don't know.
I just think, yeah, in general, Europeans are way better. And I also think that mechanically...
Thank you.
I think mechanically, too, that they're a stronger team. On the other side, Fnatic, they're just better on those payload maps. We talked about it many times. They have really great coach support. And I don't know. I feel like IDDQD is not playing up to date so far.
Well, we're going to see what they're having in store for us game-wise on Ilios, and that's where we're heading right now. So, guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Zoe. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how they've adapted. Fnatic did a great job as Rachel gives an appearance. It's a guest appearance, you know. She likes to get herself in shot now and again. I don't think she was quite expecting us to come back on shot there. But Ilios is the map. And Ben, we saw them obviously make the adjustments this morning. We talked about how they got 3-0'd on the poll, and then they come back and win 3-1 against Misfits. So clearly Fnatic have done some work. We heard IDDQD talking about the McCree usage, which we almost certainly expect to see from Valataja maybe this time around. Ilios, of course, was in the map rotation for the regional final, so a lot of the teams will have practiced this map.
Yeah, that said, REUNITED, they have looked strong on King of the Hill maps since the earliest phases of the beta. This team has been around the block a couple of times, and they always impress when we go to the King of the Hill. That said, I'm not used to seeing them here on Ilios, so I'm not really sure what they're going to have in store for us now. And we're starting on Ruins, which is a particularly strange point, I'd say, because it's so far from the spawn points compared to most other King of the Hill maps. You got to run quite a ways, and then you just basically jump into a pit. So being in the point itself is actually a disadvantage. You don't have the high ground when you're capturing the point.
Let's see what they're going to go with. Are we going to see the McCrees, or will it be the Tracers? Tracers could sort of come back into it a little bit more. I think the teams mainly agreed that's the best way to go. I'm more interested to see where Kib's going to go. Is he going to stick with his Genji? Because, my God, he can go off on that one. Winghaven, looking like we're not going to see no, okay, we're going to see Winston's for both sides. Yeah. I was wondering whether we're going to get a reinforce. We're not going to get reinforce in here. We're going to get a Reinhardt in there. Reinhardt on reinforce. Okay, he's in my head. He's in my brain for the finals.
All right, the gates have opened, and I do like the Genji pick because you can hit pretty long range shurikens on this point, as it is such a long map. So that's probably what he's looking for here.
So last time I watched Vods against Ono here, he absolutely went off on this map, got himself a quad kill from the start. Of course, this is a big difference. We'll see how it works out. REUNITED, not Ono. They are a very different team entirely that sadly don't exist anymore. They disbanded after the qualifiers, but you can see it is going to be Fnatic that's trying to start it off. Still no kill going either way. Coolmat, though, taken very, very low with that shield.
Oh, wow, look at this. Vods going straight for the Winston, trying to target him down, but in the end, it will be Kib who does take first kill. Winghaven left with almost no health at all. He's forced to at least back off, giving Fnatic a tiny bit of breathing room, but still, they are down one player.
Valotage just constantly working down Vods. Vods is just like, God, I've just got myself some health. I can't get away with this. But you can see the kill field. You know what's going on. It's Kib. Kib going off on the Genji. I'm expecting to see Vods possibly change to Genji as this game progresses. At the moment, he's sticking with the Reaper until he gets that ulti.
Reaper can still be very, very good on this point. Of course, once you are in that pit, you're within Reaper's domain. You're within his reach, and that's what Vods is going to be looking for here with Coolmat, with his team, as they jump on in. And let's take a look.
Pulse bomb thrown out earlier there. Valotage didn't actually land on anything, so the pulse bomb kind of wasted. Unfix is going to get himself around the side, though. Gets a big charge up on the Xayah, and will manage to work it down. Coolmat with the sound barrier being kept alive there. Keep trying to look for those targets, but at the moment, it is still REUNITED coming out on top in this kill feed. 45% you can see very much in their favor, and they will all get picked off. All the ultis we use there, though. Winghaven getting that primal rage off, but Valotage and Unfix now going to stack on, so it's that Graviton bomb combination that we've seen so often in King of the Hill.
I wonder if Fnatic can smell this out and spread apart equally. Of course, teams at the highest level will definitely be watching out for that Zarya every single time as best as they can. They don't want to get stuck. Fnatic, they're running out of time here with 70% on the point.
That's a 5-man cluster coming through, and they've just walked straight into it. Where's the pulse bomb? Is it going to come through? Mork gets himself in there. They all back away with very little help. You can see Custer comes in, but the damage was done. The pulse bomb managed to work down well. They haven't managed to pick up enough kills, though. Valotage is just back around the side, trying to get some chip damage. Winghaven comes in, collects himself another kill, and Fnatic kept away from the ruins. 89%. Are we going to see a 100% shutout on map number 1?
That would be rough. That would bode very poorly for Fnatic, but again, we do suspect that REUNITED are the heavy favorites when we go to King of the Hill. So they are probably going to be choosing this every time that they lose a map in this series. We'll see if that comes into play in a little bit here.
Overtime ticking. Let's see if they can get in there. You can see Coolmat comes up through. Winghaven manages to chime in. IDD Kiddy trying to keep from range, trying to get some left clicks working, but he's got a primal rage Winghaven in his face. He has to back away. He gets batted onto the point. Ironically, not really where he wanted to go. You can see he's got Unfixed just with the shield pushing him around, but now he's got just about everybody focusing on him. IDD Kiddy, health is dropping. He has to back away. Valotage will clean him out, but tries to get his Death Blossom off, but it's too late. 100-0 for REUNITED on map 1.
You know, I gotta call out Valotage in that game. His Tracer almost never died. The pulse bombs were decent, but really, he was just so annoying. It never allowed Vods to get into any kind of rhythm or even really get on the point, which is where he needed to be as Reaper.
Whew. Dry yourself off, son. You've got a lot of games to go here. Focus on the face of Vods. Of course, see if it's going to work out for him. Stoop looking pretty intently. Not going to pull out the Reinhardt once again. It is all about the Winston here as we move into the well, of course, the area where is a giant well. We're not going to see a... You never know when you're going to get to see a hog on this map, because everybody knows how annoying it is, but also look for the boops, people getting knocked into that well.
And absolutely, this is another great point for Genji. So many obstacles, so much geometry that you can climb up on, so many perches like we're seeing Kib take right here and right now. It's going to be so annoying to take him down from that perch.
Let's see if Kib can get working on Genji here. Not totally convinced by the Genji, but you know what? What do I know about this game? IDDQD, quick headshot from Kib there, executes him. Butts gets to get a reply though. Volatage, so both damage dealers down for either side, but Winghaven going off. Butts still alive. Real pesky thorn in the side of any Winston player is a Reaper, and he's getting up close and personal. Don't think his Cruz is going to be able to get away from this one. Just hop, skips and jumps and speed boosts himself away, but they don't cap out the point. He's down in the well. Not getting out of it this time, son. Down you go.
Yeah, he did his best to try and stay alive, and man, a Lucio with an orb, a Harmony orb, is really hard to kill from time to time, but Cruz did not want to go down that way, as his team is now falling apart. Fnatic will take the first capture.
So, they finally get themselves on the board here on Ilios. Now can they hold it? Vonnefield with the sound barrier already and waiting to go, as well as more with the Transcendence. So, plenty of options. Coolmat's going to have his charge up just alongside Unfix. Both very close to getting this Graviton Surge off. And of course, you can see Volatage. Is he going to hang on to that Pulse Bomb to match with it? At the moment, you can hear Graviton Surge goes off. Where is it?
Where is it? Where is it? Kib is getting sucked in through the wall, actually. Coolmat, Custa, IDDQD, Custa again, and that is 4 kills in a row for Fnatic. Feeling quite confident now.
That's what you want.
Coolmat gotten into the groove.
Coolmat does his thing, and like I say, getting into the groove, Coolmat was the big difference against Misfits over on Nepal earlier on today. This morning's decider match. Bud's got himself his Death Blossom ready, waited to go as well. Trying to see if he can sit up close. Kib's going to try and get the flank around. You can see the positioning. Reunited trying to group up, gather themselves in. They know there's no Graviton Surge to worry about, so here they go.
And the fight does engage, and both teams have a whole bunch of ultimates to their name. It's going to be a big ultimate coming out of, who was that? It was Unfixed, of course, but a ton of kills going the way of Volatage. That had to be a Pulse Bomb to get 3 kills in a row.
Yeah, quick, easy Pulse Bomb. Stacked them in there, worked perfectly. Unfixes Graviton Surge. Just about what you want. It's a quad kill for Volatage in the end there. That's what he expected, but 71% was the count for Fnatic. So they got themselves a good old charge now, but now they're sitting on the ulti advantage. They have themselves a stack there, and Kib, more importantly, has that Dragon Blade. We've seen what he can do with this, and Fnatic, well, they've got to be careful. They don't see those supports going down early because there is no sound barrier or Transcendence to protect them.
What can Fnatic do here? They've got to look for an early pick here, and it's going to be the Winston and the, engaging first, dropping that shield. That's what he needs, but Kib has gone nuts. He's getting kill after kill, and once again, Fnatic has been stumped. Still plenty of time, though, lead.
Yeah, the Dragon Blade doing its job, not wasting too many ultis. Winghaven did use the Primal Rage, and Sound Barrier also went down from Cruz, so a triple ulti to make sure they secure themselves another 20-30% on the counter. It's kind of what you need to do when you're 70% down. So Bud's now coming in, does have his Death Blossom ready and waiting. See if he can catch any sneaky position. You can see he's trying to stick at the back. There's the speed boost, gonna get himself the flank around the side. Graviton Surge comes in, he gets sucked in with the rest of his team, and that's less than ideal. And now, okay, because it's going to be Fnatic going to get wiped off the point. Bud's the last man standing, will get beaten down. We're going to be seeing Reunited taking the lead here on Well.
And Reunited absolutely toying with Fnatic right now. The last 3 pushes in a row have been absolutely swatted away like a fly.
I don't understand Bud's there, because he was kind of safe from that, going through the building, and then thought, you know what, I'm just going to walk into the Graviton Surge.
Well, if the rest of my team is here, it must be a good place to be.
I joined them.
And now we're actually tied up, as Fnatic is at 71% and Reunited 79%. They have to engage now. It's going to be done with the sound barrier as the fight begins.
Buzz tries to get work done on Winghaven, but the Primal Rage is going to be enough to keep him ticking. Kib's got himself his ulti ready and waiting to go, the Dragon Blade. Is he going to be able to get it off? That's the question, as IDDQD continues to try and work down these supports. Goes looking, hunting for the kills, but not able to find more. Does finally finish him off, but in comes Kib. Gets himself a slice and a dice. Get to IDDQD. Down, in goes the second. Buzz gets dropped. Custer, you're next, son. You're not going to get away. There's no health pack for you. And that will be Reunited taking it 2-0 here.
Fnatic looks so good for a moment, for just a moment, but all of a sudden something happened in the heads, in the minds, in the voice comms for Reunited. They were able to bring it together, and man, that was a very convincing performance, able to just swat away so many pushes. And really, I gotta give it to Unfixed, because how many Graviton Surges sucked up 3 or 4 people, and it happened at least 3 or 4 times in that game.
Yeah, Fnatic seem to be struggling to retake the point. They got to 71%. It was a great start from 71-0. It looked like it may well be a 100-0 flip. But the second they lost it, they couldn't get anything back. That was the problem. That was the real difference. And Reunited right now, are in a very good position to go 2-1 up here in this best of 5 series. Rogue await the finalist. Who's going to be there? Are Fnatic, the only North American team left in this tournament, going to be able to reach there? I mean, this is something that was surprising. When we saw Fnatic on day one, you were thinking, well, okay, America has turned up. This is going to be really interesting with Cloud9 and Envious. Envious going out shockingly to Rogue, and now Fnatic looking like they're in trouble against REUNITED.
Yeah, still, of course, 1-1 in map score, still in it, and they're going to have a chance here. This is one that's going to be a little bit tighter corridors, which means Vods could start to fit into where he wants to with this team. And REUNITED, they've got to be wary of Vods. Of course, they don't have any Reaper on their side, but Fnatic has been absolutely decimated in this fight. REUNITED will be taken down pretty low as well, so it's actually a close battle now. Kib left on the point. It's going to be Genji versus Reaper. Who's going to come out on top? Usually you're going to see Genji able to back away, and he gets it. He jumps right in after throwing the shurikens, and that is pretty nice stuff out of Kib.
Takes his head clean off in the corner there. Vods I've seen going off in a 4v2 before on that point, so I wasn't exactly sure how to call it. You never know, really, with customer support, with that Discord off, it could easily go the favor of the Reaper. But this time, Fnatic lose out, and again, it is going to be REUNITED at hold. Here we go. Speed boost goes in. Stoop just charging around the side. Valataja, though, instantly taking Custer and Stoop down. Unfixed comes in. Graviton Surge does its job. I tell you what, it wasn't even Graviton Surge. It was a straight up left click to the face.
I mean, that push was over before it even began, because if Valataja was flanking from behind, he found the opportunity for the pulse bomb, and when you're down 5 versus 6, you're not going to have a good time, not on Lighthouse.
So, ulti, let's have a look. It's that pesky Genji, isn't it, that's been causing them problems. Kib has been a very inspirational pickup for REUNITED, I think it's safe to say. Dragon Blade goes off, don't know where it is. Vods has to back away, he's got no health left. We don't see too many kills though. Coolmac going down, there's going to get on towards Custer, doesn't actually get him, and instead has to back away. Graviton Surge comes through, that's going to hold them up in the air, and it will be REUNITED that will come out on top again. IDD Kitty jumping to his death around the side there to keep himself respawning with his team. 62% and counting. We're not surely going to see another 100-0. Can we see a 3-0 on Ilias from REUNITED here?
That would be wild stuff, and it's looked pretty dominant, to be frank. And I was caught on the analysis desk. We were talking about the fact that Genji not necessarily working out in the previous match on Nepal, or Lijiang Tower and Nepal, but here on this map, this is where Genji really shines.
Trying to get the quick flip there, Fnatic trying to sneak themselves in. You can see it's almost worked their way, but now you can see the response comes through. Mort gets in there, but IDD Kitty going off. He gets himself kill after kill. Vods gets himself on the point. You can see he's getting a real pesky Valataja who has the pulse bomb ready and waiting to go. Throws it out there. Sticky on Vods. Has to Wraith form away. Gets himself to safety as he backs around the side. But it is Kib back in place. And Kib starts going off. Dragon Blade comes in. IDD Kitty charges in. Dodges the pulse bomb. And IDD Kitty kills himself with the pulse bomb.
Oh no, playing with fire there, but able to get the win in the end. 3 points to 0. Very dominant stuff coming out of REUNITED, and I think this is going to be a storyline for this match. Of course, because REUNITED has the advantage at this point in time, it means that even if the next map does go to Fnatic, it's going to be up to REUNITED to choose the last map in this best of 5, and likely going to be another King of the Hill, I'd say.
Yeah, 100-0 twice is not good on King of the Hill, both on Ruins and Lighthouse. For REUNITED there, solid stuff, and you can see Drunks in the background. A lot of experience, formerly played with the guys from REUNITED, ironically. This time around representing Fnatic as their manager. Let's see what the analyst desk have to digest with that Ilios map.
Thank you very much. Yeah, REUNITED took that one in a very convincing manner. Now let's discuss this a little bit. Mitch, you just said REUNITED would have won on this very map, even against Envy.
Looking at them today as well, I mean, we're not really putting Envy up the top of the heap anymore, are we, technically? But they look incredibly good. Fnatic were not even really involved in that game. This is REUNITED's map. It's their lawn, and Fnatic knew pretty quickly to get the heck off.
That's pretty much the gist of it. I think they held on pretty well for one map because Vods was doing so well. He had such an incredible kill streak there on Reaper, but pretty much every game was dominated by REUNITED, like we saw coming. They picked Ilios, they wanted it, and Kib was on fire this game.
I think that's the story for Fnatic in general so far today. It's been, Vods doing really well, Stoop as well, kind of contributing, but I feel like IDD, QD, and Vonathil and everybody else, I mean, they're doing their job. They're not making any big mistakes, but at the same time, when you're playing at this high of a level, you're playing at the semifinals, you gotta really push through, and you need more than 2 players.
All right, so what map are we going to see next? Now it is Fnatic's time to choose again. And which map can they choose to make Reunited feel a little less comfortable than what we just saw?
They're definitely going to go to a payload. I don't know which payload, but they're way more comfortable on that for sure. It could be a Gibraltar or King's Row. Really not sure. It just depends which one they want to do.
Hollywood, maybe Route 66.
Yeah.
I'm thinking something like that, but not King of the Hill.
If you're Fnatic right now and you choose Route 66, you just committed suicide on stage in front of all these people. You are going to lose that one to Reunited. Another one of the pocket maps that they are really going to be strong on here. I generally agree with you. I think it might well be a payload map here. Reunited were ready for Hanamura yesterday. I think they're very, very strong in general on those King of the Hill maps. Hollywood's a possibility, but Fnatic is still discussing what map to pick. And I don't think there's a clear-cut answer to that question.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I hope for predictions, but that's okay too. Is there, I mean, you said no King of the Hill for sure. In case we're tying it up, having a 2-2 with the maps left, what do you guys think Reunited will be second strongest as they already showed us they're strongest with Ilios?
Maybe King of the Hill, Route 66. What do you think?
Yeah, Numbani, Route 66, Nepal, all maps that Reunited should realistically be strong on. And they're still acceptably good on two control point maps too.
Absolutely. I mean, the team, the map picks here are super important. It really is coming down a lot to that because Reunited is so strong on King of the Hill. When you have the power to say, if I pick the map, we get a point. That's incredibly powerful, and it could really just come down to that as a whole.
And that's what's really interesting about this tournament. Even against Cloud9, we saw every time they played on Dorado, it was like an instant loss. They were just horrible. They fell apart. And then even Complexity on Gibraltar, they kept picking it and kept losing on it, and then finally they switched it up and they actually did a little bit better. So it just seems like maps are super important. And actually, we're going to be playing on Hollywood.
All right, and Hollywood doesn't wait for us because the guys are ready and so are we. So we're gonna head to our casters in just a bit. I can't wait to see the guys playing on Hollywood. Who is gonna be feeling more comfortable there? I mean, Fnatic picked it, but how are you Reunited doing in Hollywood?
The fact that it's control point first, I mean, it's not exactly payload.
Type it.
Yeah, it's definitely a map where team coordination is super important. Getting that high ground on the second stage of Hollywood is something that Fnatic is going to be way more good at. I think they're going to be able to get their team up there. They're always really coordinated, taking those positions. I don't know. I think Fnatic looks good here, but I still think Reunited might beat them on this one.
Well, we will find out in just a few seconds, and now we are ready to go. So get hyped for the next map of this wonderful semi-finals here at the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Zoe and crew. Ben, we move on to Hollywood. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a little nervous for Fnatic now. Fnatic choosing Hollywood. This is the map they fell on against Cloud9 in the regionals. This is the map they couldn't get through the Wild West section. And then they fell apart. The reverse sweep went Cloud9's way. This is some big ballsy choices from Fnatic to go against Reunited.
You know what, Lee? At least it's not a King of the Hill. Fnatic needs the breathing room. They need an opportunity to exhibit their strategy and their coordination. You know, one of the things that we were talking about on the desk previously today and yesterday as well is just how well Fnatic moves as a team. And that might sound simple, of course, moving from point A to point B, not the most complex thing in the world, but they do it in a way most teams don't. It's like Stoop is like a protecting mama bird. He's got his little chicks and they're moving along just together. They'll be speed boosted from one point to another. They're always going to take the advantageous position because of this attribute of the team.
Speaking of advantageous positions, let's see how the defense works out. There's been a number of different meta shifts that have worked through Hollywood. It's been a very popular map. Obviously, there you saw that section there where Fnatic plowed through and battered out all the furniture. And it's actually one of the positions where we may actually see Stoop holding steady, protecting IDDQD. Now, more recently, we've seen them holding the low ground, switching across, because obviously the adjustments that came out from the attackers, they were used to go in with the Divas, the Genjis, everybody pile in onto that point, and suddenly it becomes chaos on the top of the Goldshire Inn, I believe it is. That's just around the corner there. Very interested to see how this is going to go, and more importantly, Is Kib going to stick to Genji because he's on it right now?
I think so. This is a good map for Genji indeed. And actually, Lee, this is the first time we're seeing Hollywood in this entire tournament.
Yes.
I am so excited to watch it go down.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. It will be the final map as well, which is the real interesting fact, because obviously both Rogue will be sat watching this intently to see exactly how the boot camps have gone for these teams. Who are they going to be facing? REUNITED are the favorites right now as they push on round. Kib going to get the flank around the back, trying to draw them out. Winghaven goes in, but Balotage has been picked off already by IDDQD. Buds holds strong. Winghaven's aggression doesn't pay off, goes a little too deep, and Fnatic hold the first attack.
Now, it was a three-pronged attack for REUNITED there. They were flanking around the far left with Tracer. Genji was coming over top, and the rest of the army was coming through the middle, but in the end, it was just Fnatic able to get that initial 2 picks that shut that entire push down. So it only works if you're able to get one of those early advantages.
Well, Balotage went around the left side very early away from his team there, actually to surprise. He actually drew 2 members of Fnatic around the left here. You can see them around there having a little peek. The rest of REUNITED can now back them up. They're trying to get the flanking maneuvers, but it's not working out. Winghaven's gone too deep again, and Buds once again has his number. Kib chimes in, gets himself stooped down. So the big Reinhardt shield is picked off, but they have to deal with Buds, who keeps on getting kill after kill, and they can't deal with the damage dealers of Fnatic, and they clear them once again.
And here comes Unfixed. He's going to try to take down any of the supports by himself. He's like, please kill me. I need a respawn. He could, of course, have run away, but then he would, he could have been killed anyway.
He cheekily got himself the top charge as well. He got himself full shield on, so did what he could to get that Graviton Surge available, of course. You can see both ultis all very much ready. Fnatic got themselves 5 stacked up as they go piling in, but that's a big kill. Buds has been the main defensive hold so far for Fnatic, and he goes down. Deadeye coming out, not going to land a great deal. Does manage to just get a little charge onto Unfix's shield there. Kib continues to try and flick out their shurikens. Goes for IDDQD, gets himself the first charge on him. Will get finished off by Winghaven. Both damage dealers now down. Transcendence will delay as long as they can. Buds is respawning on his way back in. They're already going to try and get the position on him as he goes around the side. He's got his Death Blossom ready and waiting to go, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team have been picked off, and REUNITED will cap out point A.
And that point was capped basically because Buds was overextended. He was just a little bit too far ahead up top, caught out by the jumping up Winston, and of course the Genji just jumping up right onto Buds, and a little bit of an overextension means the point is over.
So now it is about passing a time or a distance for REUNITED. First nervy section is over. It took them over 2 minutes. Not the greatest, but a respectable time nonetheless here in the semi-finals of the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown. They are playing the best in the world right now, but you can see the high ground has been gained by Fnatic. Expect to see them drop down. Remember, Buds is holding on to Wraith Form. Death Blossom. He could Wraith Form as well.
And the question here, Buds is going to just drop down right away.
Straight in there.
Teams on defense will love to hold the high ground, but you have to know when to drop down. And they saw the opportunity. Buds is going to come down with the Death Blossom, and that's that push done for REUNITED.
So, Fnatic, solid hold, expected. They had the high ground, they had the ultis, but now REUNITED are going to try and challenge them out. And this is the thing. This is why Kib's obviously playing as Genji in the first place. A, he's damn good on it. B, it's very useful to try and help take the high ground alongside Winghaven, try and take control. You can see all 6 members of Fnatic are up here. They're not bothering using that big shield. IDDQD, Deadeye, not going to find his target. It's just using that. Look, he's just trying to tuck himself in. He's like, no, Cruz, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Tucks himself in above the patio furniture and finally gets himself safe. So ulti cancelled out, doesn't get himself a great deal.
And Kib is trying to do what he can, poking from around back, but there is a big ultimate. It's going to catch one. Buds will respond, though, so Kib and Buds making,
quick double from Kib there, and then gets a push on through. Buds is going to try and do what he can. He gets in there. You can see he's found himself more up close and personal. That's going to get himself the support down. Very even fight between the two as Kib climbs up on high, gets himself a glance of cool mat, strokes a couple of shurikens in the butt and slides on through. Doesn't manage to get himself the kill after all. IDDQD blocked out, defends it out there, but Buds is back in action. Death Blossom flies on through, and while they're trying to keep the point alive, Buds replies and gets himself a triple once again. This man is off the chain.
Yeah, that battle lasted for a good 30-40 seconds there. It was very difficult to call, but in the end, Buds able to drop the Death Blossom, getting the 2 kills that his team needed, and they're going to hold just fine here on the streets phase. Unfixed by himself on the point, actually in a little bit of danger.
Oh,
Of
the
course,
back
he
door.
can teleport backwards.
The back door, they're all up on the top. They're just ignoring the fact, and REUNITED have just pushed on straight through. Fnatic suddenly slow to react, get around the backside, but Vods has already got IDDQD down. This is a disaster for Fnatic.
Yeah.
They've been caught totally out of position. They were trying to sit and hold the high ground. REUNITED were not interested in any of that nonsense. They just pushed straight up in the front door, said, thank you much, our payload is going up to the next point.
And a very uncharacteristic mistake there for Fnatic. They did not push together as a team, and because that payload started moving, I think they just panicked a little bit. Maybe someone went in before the call was made. The shot caller, Vonethil, maybe he made the call and his team didn't follow. Who knows what happened, but Fnatic, for once, looking kind of out of
I don't know
sorts.
how they didn't see it, because Stoop was on the Winston so far forward, he was looking ahead, and it's like, guys, they just all ran beneath me. Should I do anything? should I go for it? The aggression, though, from REUNITED, that backfires. They tried to get in early and get a bit of damage down there, but you can see the kill feed is very much even between them as the payload makes its way into the final studio section.
Yeah, that did backfire pretty substantially there. It allowed Fnatic to finish up getting 5 ultimates. Stoop's still pretty far away, but 5 is a lot. As both teams are somewhat stacked, though.
Where's Valataja? That's what I'm wondering. Where's he gone? Is he looking for a flank? Yes, he is. He's looking for the flank. He's up on high, but he's going to get spotted out. Crew, Vonethil giving him very much the information required. Death Blossom goes through, doesn't get himself a kill. Crew's going to take him very low, will get picked off. Didn't choose to go for sound barrier there, so I think REUNITED accepting their fate that they're going to get picked off, accepting Fnatic to try and use a lot of ultis. But the problem is, it was only Vods. Only Buzz used his ulti. Everybody else held on to theirs. You can still see Coolmat, Vonethil, IDDQD, all sitting on their ultis. Custer obviously used Transcendency as well to push on through, but REUNITED didn't use a single thing there. They just sat on it and sat waiting. Unfixed making a change. Unfixed going on to Winston.
Okay, no more Zarya in play here. A little bit surprised, but I guess it makes sense. You're able to tickle so many people when they're all bunched up like this. And of course, when Winston is hitting more than one person, he's doing a great job, and that's a whole big group.
There's so
Fnatic.
much going on in this fight. You can see Buds and IDDQD finally getting out. IDDQD already had his Deadeye running, so it's a simple double in the end. They were clumped up on the Graviton surges. It's never really a headline moment to get themselves a couple of free kills when that's like pinned in one position.
Now REUNITED is going to take their time to figure out what the next step is for them. They still have been holding on to 3 of these ultimates for some time now. In that last fight, they did waste the sound barrier, but it looks like there's going to be a big flank. A huge flank is coming from the top. It's going to be the Dragon Blade. It's going to be the Death Blossom as well. Let's see how this goes.
Well, you can see the sound barrier comes out to try and counter it. Is it going to be enough? Wing even gets the pin down. Coolmat gets picked up. Buns is still alive, though. He's trying to get some damage done around the side. Comes in. Death Blossom doesn't do a great deal of damage, but he manages to chip them down. But REUNITED still looking pretty solid here. Velotaja trying to go off. The payload continues to work its way through. Stoop starts swinging away. It's Reinhardt on Reinhardt action. And finally, it's going to be Fnatic that will just about hang on. Morphs, look at him in the corner. How dare you just fling out the orbs in the corner, trying to do what he can. Unfixed will get cleared. And REUNITED still yet to close out the map. We're inside 1 minute, already at 8+ minute time. It's a big time. REUNITED, can they even finish the map?
Phenomenal play from Buds there, because a lot of those ultimates from REUNITED were managing to connect in some way. Yes, no kills were collected, but they were connecting, yet no one died. Buds responds.
You can see Winghaven trying to bait out any Earth Shatters, anything in there, keeps dropping the shield, trying to bait something out, see if there's any ultis left alive. Kip gets in, but Custer around the side. Death Blossom comes through from Valataja, only nets himself the single kill on Coolmat. Less than ideal. Sound barrier keeping IDDQD alive, and now Transcendence comes through. They have to just try and force them off the spawn, but until that Transcendence wears off, they can't even get themselves a clearance, and it looks like it might well be going to overtime here. REUNITED, they're coming in with one last chance.
Yeah, one last chance, but they are down 1 in this fight. Cruz will use his sound barrier, though, so the team has extra survivability. Stoop is out of position as well, but he's doing damage. He's going to take down Valataja. So, Fnatic off the Earth Shatter there. Valataja going down. Stoop with just only 150 health. Clutch play, though. I think it was what his team needed, and they're going to seal the deal on Hollywood. Not let Fnatic, or excuse me, not let REUNITED set a time. And
I mean, why they didn't set a time, distance-wise, it was very much on the point. I mean, they pretty much need to finish the map. So while it's obviously, it does give you a bit of a high five, you know you've got 9+ minutes to finish it off with obviously the added overtime you can reach. But you know what? I've seen Fnatic struggle in this map so many times. I'm not quite getting ahead of myself and thinking we might get a map 5 out here. I'm thinking Fnatic still in a real tough situation. They struggled so many times in that Wild West section themselves. We saw REUNITED in the end just switching them and say, you know what, we're just going to walk underneath you and you're going to have to attack us. And Fnatic were like, oh, what a sneaky strategy. We didn't think of that and got caught out.
I mean, that's the trickiest part about holding high ground on not just this map, but most maps. It's when do you drop down? When do you decide enough is enough? We have to get on the payload. It's moved too far. And unfortunately for Fnatic, they weren't able to do that, make that decision in the clutch moment. But at the end there, did you see the Fnatic guys? They looked ecstatic about the fact that they were
delighted,
able to stop this payload from getting to the final point. And I think this bodes very well for Fnatic. If I have to predict, I think they're going to be able to do this.
We talked about it with the Misfits game, how Fnatic have struggled defensively a number of times. Now they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They've held REUNITED both on Dorado and now on Hollywood. They've stopped them capping out the point, stopped them finishing a time, which in itself is effectively a victory. I mean, that you have won the map effectively. Now, the question is, we are in competitive. Can they stop them reaching 72-90? REUNITED, you can see what they've picked. Very much standard picks, but Fnatic, we are seeing Vods once again on the hog.
Yes, on the hog one more time, and I like this strategy here on Hollywood because you're able to knock down Winghaven's shield so much quicker once you have that Roadhog in play. And with 3 tanks, there's a whole lot of survivability. Gonna be easy for Coolmat to get a good amount of charge as well, so he's kind of like a third DPS team-man.
Immediately flings out the hook, doesn't manage to obviously get anything. The shield goes, but that's gonna get dropped down pretty quickly. You can see REUNITED. Winghaven doesn't want to keep that shield up as long as he can because he knows it's gonna get chunked down faster and faster. IDDQD looking to get some free shots as the shield is no longer available. Does manage to find one, unfixed. Look how low he just went. 2 shots from IDDQD, almost picked him completely off there. Shield finally gets himself back recharged, but Fnatic are doing some serious damage on the initial exchange.
Though. Winghaven coming from the side, able to get a huge charge onto Vods, taking him out of the action. And that was very important because Winghaven was totally out of position as Reinhardt. Reinhardt, you need to have that shield up protecting your teammates, but he made it happen.
Kib on the flank comes around the side. You can see he's going to try and look to get a drop down on IDDQD's head there. Does manage to take Stoop's space off. Mort manages to get himself the kill on the score sheet. So, 3 minutes and counting. REUNITED, that was a pretty slow effort from Fnatic. You can see what they were trying to do, they're trying to work it. Obviously, that's the whole point of hog. You want to land yourself a hook. But Winghaven, like you said, good charge, working well, and holding that shield. And you can see the position, he's tucking around the corner, so he can hold it for as long as possible.
Yep, he does not want that Roadhog to get any free hits on his shield, but that said, it's such a risky play because do you shield your teammates or do you let the shield go down? He has to make so many split-second decisions.
Deadeye from Valataja has to be respected by Fnatic. It forces them back. Stoop goes in too deep. Winghaven does get picked off by Bud, so both tanks down for either team now. And IDDQD is going to have free reign with the Deadeye. And quickly the Reaper tucks, everybody runs and scatters. Run and hide. IDDQD is coming, but Valataja has your back, and he will have his number. And REUNITED hold strong against Fnatic once again.
Where did Valataja even come from? He was completely taking IDDQD off guard. IDDQD turned the exact wrong direction.
Surge unfixed. I'm not sure about all that.
That must have been a finger slip because it couldn't have possibly. Well,
that's a big ulti to waste there. That was around the corner. He didn't get anything with it.
Oh, now look at this position for Kib. Kib is by himself. He's from flanking position. He's going to get Custa.
Gets himself around the side. Custa goes down, gets in and out. Vonathil chasing on his own. What is he doing? Kib just goes, you know what? I'm going to hit the copter key, try and do what I can. Vonathil trying to keep bouncing around. He's getting a lot of damage down. Will finally take him out. Kib down to 83 hit points. But 1 minute and 25 seconds and counting for Fnatic's competitive mode right now. This is it. They will go out if they do not do this in the next minute.
All right, Fnatic fans, it's time to give them your energy because only 1 minute remains for them to try and take this first point. If they don't capture it now, they are down and out of the entire tournament.
Stoop's got his Earth Shatter ready and waiting to go. You see the shield hanging, holding steady, but he's been picked off from the back by Valataja. That's a disaster. Fnatic, they didn't have his tanks back. Valataja going off, gets himself another. Buds goes down. Fnatic have to respect this. They have to back away. There's only 50 seconds on the clock. They've got to be careful. Exit frags are a thing, and Valataja gets all 3.
Are we about to see a EU finals lead?
Yes.
It is very, very possible, as REUNITED just has to hold for 35 more seconds, and they will have secured their spot in the grand finals. Can Fnatic do it? They don't have many ultimates to their name, although they will have both support ultimates up for this next fight. That is what is going to superpower them in this engagement.
Deadeye comes out, IDDQD looking, hunting for targets, but everybody is well trained. They go hiding, seeing what they can find. Kip tries to get the flank around. Transcendence comes out, Earthshatter gets a great big 0 from Stoop as they try and push on through. Fan the hammer from IDDQD, trying to get himself the targets, but Cruz manages to survive. Valotaja chimes in with a Deadeye, gets himself the triple, making a quad kill for Valotaja as he goes off. Fnatic are wiped out. They are out of the tournament, and REUNITED will face Rome in the final as they take it 3-1.
What a crazy series of events, not just now, but earlier today, as well as Envious had gone down. We had thought that North America was looking so strong in this tournament, yet Fnatic's dreams are crushed by one man. Valotaja, in the end, makes it happen for his team, and I can't help but wonder, where was IDDQD in that game? Tusta played well. The entire team played well. Stoop played well. We saw huge moments from Vods, but man, Valotaja just felt like he came out on top of those McCree battles.
Absolutely. I mean, Stoop was left hanging a number of times. Fantastic stuff, though. Congratulations to the REUNITED boys. And what a battle we have on our hands. We saw it in the group stages, REUNITED versus Rogue. It went the distance. It went to a tiebreaker. It went beyond distance. And we're hoping we can, of course, see the same thing once again in the finals. Of course, Rachel is going to be grabbing hold of one of the players. You can see them congratulating each other. Good sportsmanship from these teams. They have boot camp together for a week, so they're very much friendly between them. They were, I even came out while these other semifinals on. They were just having a chat downstairs, like, you guys are about to face each other. You can't talk. You're enemies now. This is not friendly time.